Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll dive right into it, jumping through DXY, yields, precious metals, and commodities that I follow in ETFs. If you guys need any help with anything commodity related, definitely subscribe to finding-value.com, the platinum membership. Use the word discount in the coupon code. So diving in and giving my financial opinions, DXY, it is continuing to head lower here. Now, we've got a breakout here, which was going to go higher. We tried to go higher, but it failed. And we are heading back lower with a lower dollar. Big picture view, you can see massive upward move in the dollar, and we've topped and are continuing to head lower in the short to medium term. So weaker dollar today, down 0.34%. Tying that with yields. Yields were basically slightly higher. I still think the momentum is heading down to the downside. So I think we are going to head lower with yields, but we were slightly higher today. And then bond prices slightly lower inversely from yields. We are coming up to more of a resistance area, and we'll see which way this thing breaks. We could either break to the upside or we can get rejected and go on downward. So yields and bond prices are kind of at a decision point. I think the 10-year yield's broken to the downside. The 30-year yield, it still hasn't broken out, and we were just looking at 20-year bond prices. The 30-year yield's up 0.73%, and we still have this support area that we can basically try to break through. So there's still that ahead of us. Then looking at the spread between the two, basically flat for the most part. And weaker dollar leading to a little bit higher commodity prices. This is for the CRB index. This still looks good to go higher. It is heavily weighted in oil. We've got the 1, 2, 3 consolidation, the 3-hump consolidation. We do sometimes get a 4th hump, which we did get. And I think we'll move on up in this falling wedge broken to the upside. Generally indicates that we want to go higher. The CRB to S&P 500 just moving sideways today, right at support levels. And then we've got gold. Gold is ripping it. It's not like we didn't know that the possibility was there for it to rip it. We had 3 small down candlesticks. The sellers just aren't pushing this lower, so the path of least resistance is higher. So gold's looking fantastic. It is definitely ripping it. This is from a longer term perspective on a monthly candlestick. We are still right there, basically at the highs, ready to rip. And we could see a massive move out of gold for a little while if this decides to break out of here. Some people think that we're going to hit our heads on some resistance up here. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really care what happens in the short term. I'm positioned for medium to long term movements. So gold looks fantastic. Silver also firming up today. We're still in this pattern that I drew a long time ago, and it's right in the middle of the pattern. So we've got nice, good support right where we're at. It bounced on higher. And then platinum's also using that support level as support right on it. Look where I drew that. It was right where it ended. So I think I'm looking for a bounce in platinum here. That's what I want to see. We'll see what we get tomorrow, but that's what I'm wanting to see. XAU to gold ratio. The ratio is slightly higher today, 0.35%. You kind of back out. We still got some work to do. Again, there's our line for happiness. We can break out of that. We still haven't broken it yet. So we've got a little bit of ways to go before we break that to the upside. GDX heading a little bit higher. It is looking strong even after the shellacking that we got yesterday. So it's not a reversal candlestick. I don't see any reversal candlesticks in here. It's basically just buyers and sellers punching each other in the face. So we're just going back and forth, back and forth. SILJ also just moving back and forth. We did get a big selling pressure yesterday. I got a little bit, that was a lot of selling pressure, and it had a lot of momentum to the downside. But we're right on that support level right now. We're just sitting on support, and we'll see where we go tomorrow. Crude oil. I know it got slapped in the face yesterday with this big bearish engulfing, but the buyers came in and supported this quite well right on that the trend line support line. So where's this thing going to go in the short term? You know, guys, this thing could move down a little bit. It could go right on up. This could go in either direction. But path of least resistance in the little bit longer term is higher. We've broken out of the pattern. We're sitting on top of it. We did a little retest perhaps, and I think it's going to grind its way higher over time. And it very well could grind sideways for a little while as well. That isn't out of the possibility, the realm of possibilities. Natural gas is struggling. We're still getting some selling pressure down here. And the further we go down, or I should say the farther we go down, the more bullish I'm going to get. So I'm waiting for the turning point. We have not seen that turning point yet. And we had a little bit of slowing down here, but it looks like there's still some last-ditch selling pressure that is left in natural gas. XOP, yeah, you know me, looking fantastic, actually. Yesterday, I was getting a little worried. I was like, wow, this thing sold off quite hard and finished strong. We gapped lower in the morning down here. There's the opening price. And we basically steamed higher today, reversing the selling pressure from yesterday, looking like it could go higher. So in the short term, I can reverse as quickly as the price reverses. Medium to longer term, this does look like we want to go higher. So yeah, it looks good to move on higher for XOP. OIH getting a little bit of selling pressure. We're right on that support zone here. We've got a little bit of overhead resistance. We hit it a couple times in here, multiple times. We're doing it again, but I think if you take a little bit longer view, we're going to break on higher for energy service companies. Energy service companies, I think, pose some of the best value in the market today. Moving on to the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, still looking quite good. We had this selling pressure here, that's going down. We had selling pressure yesterday, but the buyers came in, bought it up today. It's not a reversal candlestick. We have to see if these buyers are legit, and if they want to continue to push higher, they're going to have to do that. So the sellers are still in control until the buyers come in and say, no, we're reversing this trend here. But the trend downward is still intact at this time. URNM, now this trades very much like XOP. And we look at this is longer term. We haven't broken out of the longer term downtrend line yet. I could, if you want, you could also kind of, bunch up on this and actually say that the breakout on a monthly is that, because you're basically sitting on top of the closing prices. And if we break out above, I'd say 30, if we get past $36 and close above $36 on a weekly or monthly, I should say on a monthly candlestick for sure. Even on the weeklies, we're getting it's a little bit different if we hit the tops here. But we're getting close. Definitely $38, $39 clears us of all of this resistance garbage. But it's looking really good on a short-term basis for URNM. This is a bullish piercing pattern, which generally goes higher. You get the opening price low. It closes above about the 50th percentile. Very much trading like XOP. And we'll see if we get the momentum tomorrow and if we can slingshot out of here. But we still have some overhead resistance to play with. Looking at TAN, TAN is selling off today. A little bit more selling pressure off that resistance line. Might take a little bit more time to consolidate. Copper still looking good, 0.89% higher. This is another bullish engulfing or bullish piercing pattern where we could go higher. So that's looking fantastic for the global copper miners ETF. Lithium, right on support. Not much really to say there. We're just right on support. Rare earth metals, just grinding sideways. Maybe we're just doing a little bit of a pennant formation. It's just flapping in the wind. Perhaps we can go higher soon. SPX, a little bit lower today. Is this resistance line going to hold? We're going to find out. Basically, if we break below this, I would say, yeah, we've got a good shot of going lower. If we stay above it and we kind of turn around here, the possibility is still there where we could break out of here and get moving. NASDAQ's in the same situation as the S&P 500. We still have some room to go down before I call it a failed break. But it doesn't obviously look good, but it doesn't look good, but it doesn't necessarily look bad here. We really got to see what the buyers and sellers are going to do and who's going to win. Emerging markets just moving sideways today, slightly higher. This is a bearish engulfing pattern there. This does get pulled every which way with the overall markets and whatnot, so we'll see which direction that chooses to go in. XHB getting sold off a little bit harder today to the downside. I know I've been spouting a little bit about this going to potentially going higher, but we're getting some selling pressure here, and we'll see how far back. I would only get worried if we break below about $60. 59, low 59s. Then I would be getting a little bit more worried. Looking at Moo's right on support. We're just sitting on support, and that's all we've got there. For copper surprisingly went higher today. We had some good selling pressure yesterday, really reversed lower, but it looks like it's pretty solid today. You could almost consider this a bullish engulfing with a little wick at the bottom. So nice strong reversal for copper. Still looks okay, and it's hanging in there. Lumber moving higher today. And again, this still looks really good. It's a falling wedge broken to the upside. Still looks fantastic. Could we still get a little bit of a return move before going higher? Yes, we could, but still looks all right. And I would be bullish in the intermediate term. You know, the next months, coming months, I would be bullish. Looking at iron ore, that one didn't update. Looking at nickel, heading higher. Let's go to the line graphs. This looks like it's trying to put in some sort of bottom, and maybe we can get a little bit of a rally going on with nickel. Aluminum also looking good. We've kind of broken out of this resistance line. We are surging into a little bit higher territory in terms of prices. I think aluminum is going to do some crazy good things in the future, especially late 2023, 2024, when the deficits take a hold. So that's what I think. Short term, though, it could move around a little bit, but I think investors are going to look forward and look at those deficits out there and probably front run this thing higher. Baltic Dry Index slightly lower, down 5%. We're back at that support level. We'll see where we go next, but still looking all right. It's not broken to the downside yet, and this is a falling wedge. 1, 2, potentially this could be one big third pattern. It's just mutated a little bit, potentially. Newcastle coal just kind of moving sideways. Not much really to say there. We could throw a trend line down here. And what we're seeing potentially is a very large consolidation pattern that's playing out right now for coal. If this is a consolidation pattern, this thing is massive. We could see a big move up in coal. And I've taken, on the website, we've taken a position in one of the coal kind of royalty companies. And I think that's going to be a pretty good bet if this thing breaks to the upside. And I'll be partying, that's for sure. Ethereum also looking good. There's our thing. It's kind of just grinding on up 2.89% today. Looking at the candlesticks and zooming in, still looking all right. I know we had that kind of sell everything event yesterday, but it's bouncing today. And same with Bitcoin, still looking all right. It's holding in there. Again, I don't know if I'd be chasing it here. We've had a massive run higher out of this breakout, and I'd kind of just wait and see if this thing pulls back a little bit or not, or consolidates. But either way, it's looking pretty good. So that's what I've got for today, guys. And I would say oil's looking strong. Gold is definitely just killing it today. And a lot of other commodities are looking quite strong. We've got the CRB index breaking to the upside of that falling wedge. We've got the Baltic Dry Index in a falling wedge. We've gotten the falling wedge is broken to the upside of oil. I'd say it's game on, baby. And maybe we don't go straight higher in the short term, but there is the possibility this thing just rips it. Generally, gold's the leader. It's been heading higher. We've got other, silver's in a consolidation pattern. Platinum's kind of back testing, but there's a lot of opportunity out there. And if you guys want to join the community, join the Platinum membership over at finding-value.com. We've got a Saturday, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Platinum members question and answer session coming up this weekend. Love to have you there. Ask whatever questions you guys want. and we'll talk about, some of these companies, some of the charts that we like. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.